Whoa, there's a lot to chew on right there. We're dealing with two questions, basically. Are the teachers' unions too powerful, and is class size a key issue? Marcus Winters, your take.
Well, so as far as teachers are concerned, I mean, I would actually say that, I mean, so those of us who are interested in evaluating teachers in a way that distinguishes between the good ones and the bad ones, we are the ones who actually respect teachers. We are the ones who are, by acknowledging that teachers are in fact very, very important, what that requires is that we acknowledge that they're not all the same.
I mean, Leonie wasn't arguing that, though.
So in order to write...
Well, hold on. Leonie, hold on. Yeah. Marcus, I don't think that Leonie was arguing that there shouldn't... She just doesn't think there should be as much emphasis on tests and evaluating teachers. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
Okay, that's fair. This is a point that comes up very, very often. That the side who thinks that we should be using test scores to evaluate teachers is somehow blasting teachers constantly. We're not. We're recognizing that there are some great teachers and some less effective teachers, and there's something that we need to do in order to identify those teachers and act accordingly. So I would say, as far as when it comes to class size. So class size, all else equal, I think we can say from research, all else equal, a smaller class size is better than a larger class size. The problem is that when we implement small class size on a very large scale, as you would need to in New York City or statewide, as they tried in California and Florida, we can't hold everything else equal. And one of the things that we can't hold equal is the quality of the teacher. So the question then becomes, are we going to have small class sizes with a lower average quality teacher than we have now? Or class sizes that we have now, we focus our efforts on improving the quality of teachers. On top of that, class size is remarkably expensive reform, much more expensive than other things that we can do. One, to improve the teaching workforce, and second, to lead to other changes in the school system through accountability and choice and other types of reforms, some of which actually save money. So I think that's a particularly important point nowadays when states have fewer and fewer dollars at their disposal. So if we could hold everything else constant, then we would want smaller class sizes. The problem is that we just can't do that. And so unless we're willing to spend much, much more money on K-12 public schools than we are right now, then I don't think that it's a reasonable way to improve public schools on a system-wide level.
Can I say something?
Leonie, go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, there's never been a single study that showed that reducing class size lowers the quality of teaching, and quite the opposite. In fact, what happens when you lower class size, particularly in large urban districts, it lowers the high teacher attrition level. So you get a more experienced, more effective teaching force overall. And even in California, where they did it very quickly, all the controlled studies showed that student achievement rose. Secondly, what the corporate reformers want to do is, they don't want to spend money on class size, which is a reform that's actually been proven to work. What they want to do is throw money away on unproven experiments or actually policies that have been proven not to work over and over again. For example, merit pay for teachers, which has been tried for over 100 years. There are numerous recent controlled studies which show that it's a waste of money and that it doesn't work, and yet they keep on pushing for merit pay for teachers, which Diane Ravitch calls a zombie idea, an idea that never dies, a terrible idea that never dies.
A zombie idea, this idea of merit pay. Leonie, we are unfortunately running out of time at this point. We've got about 30 seconds left. Marcus Winters, where can people go to get more of your perspective, since I don't think we're going to get a chance for you to respond to that? It looks like we lost Marcus there. But Leonie Heimson, the Executive Director of Class Size Matters, thank you so much for joining us. You provided a fascinating perspective on the issues of class size, test-based evaluation, and education reform. And of course, thank you, Marcus Winters, Senior Fellow from Manhattan Institute. We'll be tweeting links to their stuff from our Twitter and social media accounts. Take Action News continues.